Hi there, it's Jane here with my review of the images that you submitted in October for Autumn Light. Now, I know I say this a lot, but really, genuinely, the quality and quantity of images entered for this theme was absolutely fantastic. I think it's a theme that everybody embraced. We did have some magical light, and in fact, we're continuing to have some really lovely light into November as well. What a fabulous season autumn is. So I've picked a number of different images, a few more than usual because there were so many good ones. I'm not going to take too long on each image because I don't want to keep you for too long, but I will make some comments where I feel it's relevant. So let's kick it off with this lovely image from Emma Hayes. I mean, to me, this is just absolutely stunning. And Emma, you should know that it was almost picked as my favourite for the month. It is so harmonious to look at. The colour palette is beautiful. The light is stunning. The bokeh in the background, for those of you who've not long been with Love Your Lens and you're not sure what that is, it's a Japanese word, B-O-K-E-H, and it refers to all these circles and this beautiful blurring in the background. And it occurs when you're using a really shallow depth of field, which is a low F number, and you've got interesting patches of light in the background that are then picked up in this way. So absolutely beautiful subject, beautiful frost on here, and it forever amazes me how you're always on the lookout for great images, all of you, and great light, and you're always ready and willing to be out there with your cameras. And I know how tough that is sometimes because I'm not always as good as you lot are at getting the camera and being out there. Then there's this one by Eric, which again I absolutely love, a macro shot of some ice. I think he said it was on his car. I mean, it really is incredible. I love the composition, the curve straight through the image here, the negative space, the very shallow depth of field and the detail in this ice and the colours. It's a really impactful shot. Then we have another one by Eric. Eric's been on a bit of a run this month, actually. Eric, you've submitted some lovely images. This one, obviously very relevant for the theme with the autumn leaves, the autumn light on it. And I nearly skipped across it because we've had a lot of images of leaves with beautiful light on. But then I noticed this little sun flare on this droplet of water on this leaf, and thought that actually made it, you know, that little bit more interesting and eye-catching. So another nice shot by Eric. Then we've got this shot by Marie, lovely light on a landscape. The components of a good landscape, we've got foreground interest, we've got some lovely middle ground, which is the focal point of this image, and then we've got a lovely stormy sky as well. I think it would have benefited from something that would lead our eye to this area of interest here, or potentially just cropping it a little bit, Marie. So if you just have a look here, when I crop that, I think getting rid of some of that distraction at the bottom actually really helps with this image and means that your eye goes more quickly to the more interesting area. So, but you know, I commented at the time when you posted that I really liked it. Okay, and then we have this image from Alan, another person who posts some amazing images, and I've had plenty to choose from this month, but I really liked this one. I think it's the textures and the light in the image that really grabbed me. It feels very autumnal. The light is beautiful. It's very well exposed. The trees here, the branches are framing the main subject, and we've got these lovely rolling hills and nice sky in the background. Then, yep, here we go again with one from Eric. Very interesting capture, really well spotted. Again, I love it when people get their creative eye in like this. Intriguing as well because the light in the rest of the image is quite warm, and this leaf is very cool white. It's blue really, isn't it? So I was intrigued by that and wondered what it would look like in black and white, to take away that difference between the warmth and the cool, and I do like it. And then I had a look at giving it a bit of contrast, if I can and think about how to do this. This is only Picasa, it's a very basic program, but it's handy for me to do this feedback on. And I think that's quite striking as well. But if we go back to Eric's original, I mean, this colour here is beautiful, and it does feel more autumnal if you leave that colour in, and these beautiful structures and shapes blurred out in the background. Then we've got this shot by Tim Heslop. The quality is not great somehow. It might be a phone shot, and my screen's very unforgiving because it's really high res. But what really intrigued me, obviously, is the light, the black stormy sky. I love skies like this, where you've got the black like this, and then you've got the golden light of the sun immediately after some kind of rain shower. But it was other things about the image as well. I love the idea of this is a suburban street, very quiet. Perhaps that's why there's a learner driver chosen to park here, just the eye leads, the road leads your eye along here. I love the angle of this telegraph pole and how all the lines are radiating out. So you know, at first glance, quite a simple shot, but there was something about it that I liked, so I left it in, Tim. Now this shot from Sarah Rose, absolutely amazing moment captured here of a stag stretching like that. I mean, we you know, we're all lucky enough, I think, sometimes to drop into Dunham Massey and we get pictures of the deer and the stags because they're fairly easy to find. But to find one behaving like this is fabulous. You know, the autumn light is amazing. I love the way that this arches over here, but I do feel it suffers from a few quality issues. It's quite, well, I can't tell what resolution this was, Sarah, when you, obviously when you've got it in front of you, because then it's been uploaded to Facebook. I think it might have been cropped a little bit, which has affected the quality. And also there's something about the processing that's a little bit overdone maybe. So just have a think about that. But what a moment to capture, Sarah. How magnificent. Really great. A very popular shot in the group as well. Then another one by Lisa. Again, a magical moment to capture and to sort of think about doing it as well, to be, you know, looking outside, looking at the light and then thinking, wow, I'm going to try and capture that. And she's captured it really well. So it's midges. It's the low sunlight on midges, and it's fabulous. Really great idea, Lisa. And there's this one by Kath Hall. I've got a couple in the selection from Kath this time. The light's beautiful, and that's what it was all about for this challenge, and the fact that, you know, it really does feel autumnal. I studied this shot for a while, trying to figure out what it was that I really liked and what made it work. I think this is your focal point here, this and maybe some of this fence here. So your fence is leading to the focal point and the mist on the water, which is, I think, you know, the bit that everyone's driven to look at. But you've got the foreground interest, you've got a lovely calm middle ground, and then you've got the interest of the background as well. So nice capture there, Kath. Then Jill Shaw, strange colour this, but I like it. Very, very nicely done. Yeah, very, very autumnal. The light's lovely, but I'd be interested to hear what you've done with that with processing, or was it actually like that in that? Because autumn light can be a bit weird, as we'll see in some of the future images as well. But nice capture, Jill. Then we've got another shot by Alan, nice coastal shot, and I just like, there's so much of interest to look at in this image. Your eye sort of wanders about, taking in all the different details, and you imagine this shot without that beautiful sort of range of hills in the background. It wouldn't be anything, would it? But as it is, with the long shadows, the beautiful light in the foreground, the activity of the people on the beach, it's just a good shot that grabbed my interest. Then this is another one by Kath. Beautiful autumn colours, beautiful reflections. Clear reflections are great, but I sometimes really like these smudgy ones as well. Slightly surreal feel to this. I, again, might be processing, I don't know. It all feels a bit smudged. I don't know if it's a Photoshop sort of a filter, that's the word I was looking for. Personally, I would have cloned out this little red boy. I think that one's fine because it blends in quite well with what's going on over here, but that just grabbed my interest and sort of pulled it away from the clear focal point, which is here. Okay, then another shot by Lisa, and she said this was a phone shot. Well, that's absolutely amazing. Phones use a lot of software to create the image, so it's almost like 60% software, and you know it might even be higher, and a lower percentage that's the actual camera. So they can be guilty of over processing, over sharpening, fake blur in the background, changing the colours, changing the HDR, the high dynamic range, sort of, you know, lessening the deep shadows and sorting out the highlights. Now, in this instance, I think that really works in favour of this image. I mean, it's again so autumnal, such beautiful light, but do be aware when you're using your phones that they do make things kind of hyper real with the amount of processing that goes on. Excuse me. Okay, this is a dog shot by Julia, and she asked if she felt that this, everyone felt that this fitted autumn light. Well, you know, most people said yes, and I agree. I mean, you've got the autumnal nature of the backdrop, and then the light that's falling on the dog's face is fabulous. I mean, this is a black dog, and had the light not been falling in the way that it has done, the features and details of his face would have been lost. I love the expression on his face, how alert he is, and the light in his eyes and the cock of his ears. Yeah, lovely shot, Julia. You really rock with these dog images. Okay, and then we've got Chris Talbot, a very simple image, quite abstract, but I really liked it. This beautiful sky and the way that it's framed by these silhouettes of the trees around it and the leaves. It's just very, very, very simple, but very impactful. And then we've got this shot by Karen Herman Wright. Now, Karen had this shot kind of stolen. It was all resolved in the end on Instagram, but somebody naively kind of thought that they could just use it on their own feed without crediting Karen, which is obviously totally wrong. And Karen was right to go about it in the way that she did, and she had some great advice from people in the group, so thank you for that. I mean, this is a beautiful image. I mean, the colours are stupendous, and I think she said it was straight out of camera, not doctored in any way. So this glow at that certain time of night, you know, it's magical, isn't it? And you're in your car and you actually just want to, you know, jump out and stop and try and get the shot. I think Karen's actually on the pavement by the look of this. But yeah, beautiful. Just even this little bit here, this tiling catching the light like that, it's great. So I'm glad you got that sorted out, Karen, and lovely image. And on to my favourite image, and it was so hard with so many amazing images being submitted this month, but this one, it just got me. And again, you've got to remember this is my personal opinion. I can't help but being affected by the type of photography that I like as well, although I really do try to look across the breadth of what's submitted. But there was just something about this that to me just totally met the brief. Autumn light, and the way that this apple is just lit, just being kissed by the sun, and this little shadow here and the raindrops on it, and just completely conjured up autumn for me. And I thought it was a really nice interpretation of the theme, and a lovely shot, Emma. I have to say your photography is, you know, fantastic. Really, really, really nice. So the only thing I thought was, could it benefit from a bit of a crop to get rid of some of this down here? Personal opinion, didn't really land too firmly either side, but just, you know, just a slight crop maybe. I'm not trying to crop your logo off, Emma. Okay, so absolutely wonderful. Thank you very much, everybody. I hope you've enjoyed this video and that I've not made it too long for you, and can't wait to see the images that will be submitted for the theme of shadow during the month of November. So have a great month, everybody. Enjoy and have a safe bonfire night as well.